Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome to Detox. Hope everybody had a nice Saturday afternoon. Okay, if you'd like to join me, we can have a 5 minute mindfulness meditation. So, a seated practice. You could sit cross legged. You're welcome to sit on your shins, anywhere you feel comfortable with your head above your heart. And let the arms act as stilts to soften your chest and your shoulders. And release any tension that you may be feeling in your belly by dropping down into the weight of your seat. And then feel the contrast as your breath begins to move, or you notice the breath as it continues to move into your body and out of your body. Hey Ari, good evening. And you're welcome to close your eyes here. And feel how you can almost immediately drop into the stillness of your practice. And whether it's closing your eyes or it's tilting your focus more to the observation of your breath. But the more you repeat this, it's not too long, 5 minutes. You observe the air coming in, observe the air going out. You let everything else be exactly what it is, sensations, emotions, or thoughts. And you can observe those as well. And feel as you settle into the position. And we'll hold the space, and for the next few minutes, enjoy your practice. course, welcome to continue your meditation until we start our practice at 7:30. And when you're ready to come out, take a deep breath, lift the chest. Sit up tall through your spine. Hold that height. And as you exhale, feel your lungs empty. And let your belly release. And gently go ahead and start to bring your eyes back into the space. So as many times as we can, the opportunity to repeat and think of that 5 minutes in mindfulness meditation, is something that is highly achievable. We're talking about from the beginning when you're even adjusting your position until you come out roughly about 5 minutes. And the power of repetition as you continue to explore with no expectation. You're not creating an outline of a meditation or tracking the mind in a certain way, just observing the air and the breath as it comes into your body, as it goes out. And the power of repetition, and notice the state of your being. And continue, some of you are doing this twice a day, and all you got to do is sit back and see how you feel. And there's not this big kind of finish line when it comes to meditation or yoga asana. Continuation in process, always in flow, and just see how you feel. It's pretty much things we say that, can't hurt, and they can only help. But it's not necessarily easy to get yourself to your mat and to, so something will draw you in your curiosity and bring you back to your mat, like so many of you. Hi, Emily. Hi, Roz. We got about 4 minutes if you're still getting set up, or if you're joining us for one of your first detox practices, you'll want to have a yoga block if you have one, or you can use folded blanket, pillow. These are objects that we call the stack, and you can use them to support you in different positions. And wherever we find ourselves, we just want to relax and let our muscles and our body release with gravity, and keep your breath natural. And that is a breath practice in itself, because you may trigger right into active breathing. But in this case, we want to just let and watch the waves of the breath as they come and they go. And I think I saw a comment that Roz made either this morning or last evening, can't remember. But she said yoga life immersion. And, what we're doing in the retreat-like structure of 2 classes a day, this is an immersion. It's a deeper dive to spend more time with all parts of ourselves. And that can be fun. That doesn't have to be a daunting task, or you don't have to put on the hat of, I'm working on this or I'm working on that. There can be no relevance at all, other than just spending a little bit more time with all parts of ourselves. Right? Sit back and see how you feel. So it is a pretty good immersion, one that we would typically like to be in person so that we could share. So that's why I'm always encouraging you guys to reach out or send messages if things are coming up. Like, this practice does move things around. It does bring things that can be confusing, or you don't know why they're coming up. So, don't be shy to ask a question, and hopefully I can help you explore the perspective. It'll never be an answer, because nobody can really answer when it comes to meditation, mindfulness, and yoga asana. But we can kind of help facilitate the thought process or the perspective that may help you move in a direction till you hit that point of clarity. Yeah, for sure. March 18th. That was the first live stream that we did. Hey Nat, good evening. Oh, amazing. Hi Moni. Hi Moni's mom in Australia, which means it's tomorrow. I'll always remember our Mother's Day class and you being the first mom that we got to celebrate. Oh, hi Pamela from Sydney as well. Or you probably, I guess you would be Moni's mom. I'm guessing Pamela. So welcome. All right, you guys. So you have two options for music. It has to be on a different device than your video. You can follow along on the live stream app called Earbuds Music, which is where I'll play the music from. Same playlist though is on Spotify. And if you follow me, Joe Space Komar, you can see the profile. It has the logo of our studio, Urban 728, and then you will see the playlist there. Um, so if you're on your Spotify and you want to start it along with me, go ahead and do that now. If you're not practicing with music, that's great. I hope you have a nice, relaxing space, and you can use the sounds or anything that comes up around you as your soundtrack as we drop in to a beautiful Saturday evening here in Los Angeles. Good. Once you get your volume set, let's make our way onto our back in Shavasana. When you lie down, you can spread your legs out pretty wide. Let your arms spread away from your sides as well. And so you got the inner edges of your feet turning up towards the ceiling. Unclench your bum. Notice if your bum is tight or gripping when you lie onto your back. That's pretty normal. And then you can adjust your shoulders. Turn your palms to face up. And tonight as we lie down, let's concentrate on the connection of the back of the head into the floor, into your mat. Utilize that point of focus so that you can relax and release all the muscles on your face. And this may help you actually fall into that pattern of natural breathing. It's very relaxing as you feel the forehead soften. And then the muscles around your eyes can continue to relax. And you won't be speaking for the next hour, so the muscles on your face and your cheeks and your lips, and you can just let those take a break for the whole hour. Let's take about a minute here and you simply observe and scan the body, any sensations that you're feeling without reacting to them. Just see what you're feeling tonight. remind you that there is never a rush coming in or coming out. And you call that segment the practice and the transitions. And please always take them at your own pace. We're not moving fast, and so you'll always have plenty of space and to get where we're going. So when you're ready, take your arms over your head. Feel it as you actively stretch and pull your ribs away from your hips. And keep your arms over your head, bend your legs and so that your feet are flat onto the mat. And let's go ahead and roll onto your left side in the fetal position. And turn and rest your head into your arm. And let your knees come up close to your chest. And let your right arm relax down your side. Close your eyes here. Okay, let's go ahead and roll all the way over onto your belly. And set your elbows underneath your shoulders with your legs straight out behind you, coming into Sphinx pose. And it's going to put a light pressure and compression down into your low back. You can rock your hips out a couple times, side to side, across the front. And then go ahead and let your hips settle and soften. And take the grip or the strength out of your shoulders. And the arms prop you here. Let your chin slide down towards your chest. And your head can rest. And every single practice that we've done has been a continuation of the practice. And there is a through line in connecting one breath into the next. And every time you land on your mat, you're picking up your practice and from wherever you left it off. Sometimes you'll remember, sometimes you won't. And to release the low back, start to spread your elbows apart. And come down onto your chest. And stack your palms. And then we can turn the left cheek onto your top hand. And get your arms and your head in position. And then start to slide your right knee up towards your right elbow. And so you're putting your legs in a half frog shape. Your right leg is bent. And heel down behind the knee. But you're hiking the knee up in line with the hip horizontally. And then you're going to let the inner thigh get heavy. Relax the outer hip. and to get deeper into the inner thigh. You make any adjustments you need and then begin to settle here. A really heavy head. You're welcome to close your eyes. And feel it, everyone, as you start to slowly lift your chin. Back of the jaw should feel heavy, and turn your chin back to your hands. You start to make your way back up onto your elbows. You feel this might take it a little bit deeper through your right inner thigh. And for the last minute, if it's too much, you can just come back down onto your belly, onto your chest. It's going to put a little bit more compression in the lower right side of your back. And think top of your bum. It may feel good to offer a sigh to whatever sensations you're feeling right now. And after you do that, and then just let 3 more breath cycles settle through your body in this position. Through your mind, notice the state of your mind, where you're at tonight. It could evolve, it could change, or it can remain. And you soften the chin, you guys, and start to slide your right leg back out behind you. And feel the front of your right hip get heavy, anything in your low back. Your right leg may feel a little bit longer than your left. And it's so great to sit in the simple mind. Your mind is very intelligent and can calculate and compute and decision make. But when you fall into the simple mind, the intuitive, way at which you can observe and process your feelings and sensations, emotions and thoughts, with space, with patience, and with less judgment. Let's go ahead and split the elbows apart. Come back down onto your chest, please. And stack your palms. And turn your right cheek onto your top hand. And then go ahead and slide your left knee up towards your left elbow. And heel is down behind the knee. And then you're working the knee up in the horizontal line with your hip. And you reset your head and jaw into your top hand. And you're welcome to close your eyes, release your glutes, and let the inner thigh and be heavy here in this pose. You feel the shift, no rush. When you're ready, start to turn your chin back to center. And keep your legs in the shape and bring your elbows back underneath your shoulders. And again, if that's too much, you can just stay on your chest for the last minute. And stay with your practice. Check in, see where you're at tonight. right, take your left leg back down slowly. And feel the relationship from your inner thigh to your low back. And let your hips settle. And then with both of your legs straight out behind you, spread your elbows apart. And this time stack your hands and then let your chin rest into the back of one of your knuckles. Eyes soften down. And soften the cheeks and certainly the forehead and across your eyebrows. All right, take a deeper breath in. Exhale, hands under your shoulders. Keep your head heavy and make your way up to all fours. You can move it around a little bit if you want to take your hips back. And take them out to one side and the other. And just keep your head heavy so your energy stays grounded without control. All right, let's set up a closed-legged child's pose. Bring your knees together to touch. And set your bum back towards your heels. And then we're going to curl the chin in, slide the arms back by your sides. If you need something under your head to support you, then place something underneath your head. Otherwise, let it come all the way down onto the mat in front of your knees. It's the beautiful opposite of Vinyasa yoga for your shoulders right now. Let your shoulders release all the flexion so they are in extension. The arms heavy by your sides. Make any adjustments you need to and then begin to settle. And settle with the sensations. And remain in this shape and practice. As your body releases, you'll feel the sensations change. And the deeper your chest connects into your thighs, rounding out the line from underneath your bum, all the way through your mid-back, and your kidneys up into your shoulders.
Continue to release here about 1 more minute. And keep your eyes closed, please. Bring your hands to your shoulders. And keep the head heavy and start to press your way up, rolling one vertebra at a time. You certainly should have a better capacity and to breathe, and so you can feel the breath as you roll your head above your heart. And shoulders slide down away from your ears, and then your chin can lift and feel some lightness in your chest. So good. Open your eyes and take in even more of this space. Bring your hands onto the mat. Lift your hips. And let's separate your knees as wide as your mat. Now keep your bum lay up above your knees. Crawl your hands forward. And come down onto your elbows. And let the belly drop and the tailbone lift. And we'll make our way all the way down onto our chest, forehead. Okay, or deepest is chest and chin. But that may take a little while to get there. So forehead could be a good start. In the last minute, if you're going to move any deeper, and from your forehead to your chin or chin to a cheek. pretty deep. Draw a little bit in through your belly. And come back to your forehead first. You use that forehead space so that you can slide one elbow back and then the other. And bring your elbows in by your sides. And then just slowly press into your forearms. And draw your tailbone down towards your heels. Walk your hands in. And then you can curl up one vertebra at a time, coming into a stacked spine. And keep your knees wide. And let's just go ahead and rest your hands on your thighs. And turn your elbows in, drops your shoulders. And chin parallel to the floor. Eyes would be straight out in front, but you're welcome to keep your eyes closed. And be still and receive here. So nice. Receive these spacious breaths. Take a big inhale. Sit up tall. And exhale. Go ahead and take some time to empty your lungs. And as you bring your eyes back into your space, go ahead and draw your knees in so they touch one another. If you need something in between your feet and you're going to be sitting on your shins and for a little while, so always, okay, do it now. If you think, put your block or a pillow in between your feet so your bum has something to rest on. Okay, take your arms over your head like we did earlier, big stretch. And then bring your left arm underneath your right arm. Okay, wrap your arms in eagle so you cross the elbows. And then start to crawl your left fingertips inside your right wrist. Okay, up towards the palm. Eventually one day the hands are in prayer. And then you're going to let your seat stay tall, but your elbows can slide down. And you can take the muscles and relax them through your neck and through your face and just let your chin fall in. If the shoulders are just too tight, you can always hold opposite shoulders with your hands. You relax the breathing, continue to observe and the natural breaths as they flow in and they flow out. And stay with it.
Could be a lot of feelings here, everyone. Stay with it 30 more seconds. Be fully aware of what you're feeling right now. And any thoughts that you may be processing with your mind, watch those as well. Stay patient through the transition. And with your eyes closed, and you can begin to untie your arms. And let your hands release onto the respective thighs. And feel the chest softly open. And the shoulders come back into a neutral state. You might be able to feel a deeper breath cycle here without forcing it at all. It'll just be a fuller inhale and really calm, patient exhale. And you're welcome to stay on your seat, on your heels, or with your block or your blanket. If you'd like to explore removing part of your stack, if you're sitting on it, you can do that for the second half. Easy setup. Reach your arms over your head. Then bring your right arm underneath your left arm as it crosses your body. And cross at the elbows. And then at the wrist, and your right fingertips crawl around the inside of your left wrist or hand. And eventually your palms making it towards prayer. And let's be still in practice here. You notice how good it feels to grant permission to feel and to be everything that you are right now, with no pressure to change it or to fix it, and to really be accepted by this moment. Even if it's not easy, and to be accepted by this moment, it can be pretty special. You can do it. Stay with it. About one more minute. your eyes closed, and with ease through the transition, you can start to unwrap your arms and let your hands settle back down onto your thighs. You feel the chest re-expand and the shoulders come back into neutral. You notice all the secondary sensations you might be getting down into your feet, in your ankles and your shins and your knees, having been seated here for about 8 minutes. And again, observe your state. See where you're at tonight. You can go ahead and open your eyes and start to bring your hands forward onto your mat. And we're coming back up into a tabletop. And feel the flow go back down into your toes. And you take any of your stacks, set it off to the side and bring it forward. And then let your head carry back and forth a few times, side to side. And then you can ground down through your knees, hover and flex one ankle, and then point those toes. Hover the other foot and then flex the ankle. And you can roll it out a couple times. And let all that feeling come back into your toes. You might have some tingles. Be normal if your feet fell asleep a little bit there. And bring your right hand closer to your left hand. And then step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And you might use your stack, your yoga blocks, to bring it up to the top of your mat. And we're going to turn the right toes out on a 45-degree angle. And adjust your left knee if you need some extra padding. Place it underneath your left knee if it's really sensitive. And then we're going to let this right knee fall out. So we're actually going to roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. So the sole and the inner edge of your right foot is going to turn up. And your hips are going to slide back. And this right knee is going to continue to push out over the side edge of your mat. And so once you get that set, bring your block or your stack and so that you can come down onto your forearms. And make any adjustments that you need. Again, intentionally be on the outer edge of your right foot. Toes turned out on a 45, and then you can start to release and relax in the neck and the shoulders and let your head hang heavy. Being on the outer edge of your front foot may certainly be a different sensation, unique sensation that perhaps you've never felt before. And all we want to do is continue to observe. There's a huge part of your character that actually keeps you still in these shapes. And so it's nice and to revisit. You get into this a moral body, this ethical, a body of integrity, and you're reminded of the person that you truly are. And not necessarily the moments in where we have to rise and to be something and, stay strong and you really get into a deeper part of self in understanding the incredible foundation that has always been there. And sometimes we lose ourselves a little bit along the way.
second half of this pose, you can and bring your left forearm all the way down onto the mat. You use that as a little kickstand, and then take your right hand and gently set it onto the inner right thigh. Let your elbows soften by your side, and then we're just going to let the head fall straight down and towards the ground. And this is all part of your second phase, and you can stay there if this is really getting you into the sensation. Otherwise, you can bring your right elbow down to the mat as well, and let your chest come down onto your stack. And feel it as your torso comes down closer to the ground. Very few of you, but some of you may be able to bring your chest all the way flat to the ground, and your left leg is straight back behind you. And then go ahead and be where you are. And let's settle to observe anything that comes up during this part of the pose. You're pretty deep. It may feel good to let out a few sighs, and vibrational sounds go into this part of your body that is compressed, so feel free to let out 3 good sighs here. And just watch it as you start to turn back up onto your right hand. And use that into your left knee to come back up to your left hand. Okay, and let's see what's going on. This feeling through your right leg as you start to slide your hips back. And then bring your right knee behind you. And take a deep breath in to release. Exhale all the air out of your body. And you can explore intuitive movement that feels good, rolling your hips around, rocking your hips side to side. Okay, the key is exploration, nothing forced. You don't have to do anything, ever. Certainly silly yoga poses. And so as you function through your intuition, and your relationship comes deeper and deeper into your breath. And there's a lot of freedom that we can receive, and a lot of trust that we can build, and then a lot of confidence that we can, take broad strokes with into our lives. And let's bring your left hand closer to your right hand. And step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. You can stagger or slide your right knee back, and your front toes turn out on that 45-degree angle again. And you want to lift the inner edge of your left foot so we're On purpose rolling to the pinky toe side edge. And right knee can slide back a little bit more. And you may start on your hands. If it's really intense, just keep your arms straight. Hands there, let your chin get heavy. Otherwise, set your stack. And then we'll come down onto our forearms. See, it's your body, and the way that your body has gotten used to itself is, by fixing things. And so as you start to move, or in this case, not move, but create space within the body and a way for the body to open up, then you're going to start feeling some things that you haven't felt before. The key is the shift, and all the while acknowledging where you're at in this moment right now. Check in, see where you're at. And you're welcome to stay right where you are for the second half if you'd like to progress. And let your right elbow come down onto the mat. You might prepare your stack in for your chest, and then your left hand onto your left inner thigh. Keep your elbow dropping into your side so you're not activating up into your shoulder and the side of your neck, and then just let your head fall down towards the ground so gravity will take it there. You would not be surprised if this side feels a little tighter than the first side. Our body is an example of imbalance. It's never exactly and perfectly balanced from one side to the other. And so it's good to notice the difference, and at the same time stay focused and on the relevance of your practice, and that is in the involuntary breath and the observation of it, the watching of your thoughts, the processing and acknowledgement of your emotions and your feelings. And then notice how the thing that seemed like it was in the forefront now is the last thing that we're considering, is the sensations in your body. Right? Continue to persist. Left hand can stay, or left elbow comes down onto the mat, and then you can rest your chest on your stack, or some of you, and chest all the way down onto the ground. brush movements and use your belly to support. And start to make your way back to your left hand. And then back up to your right hand. And keep the head heavy as you slide your hips back and then bring your left knee behind you. You might certainly feel the achiness coming out. That is pretty deep flexion into your hip. And so it may feel good to take a sigh. You can intuitively roll your hips around, whatever feels good. When you're ready, go ahead and lean off onto one hip. And let's turn around to lie down onto your backs, please. And when you lie down onto your back, bring the soles of your feet together. And let your knees fall apart. And take your right hand onto your belly. Take your left hand just underneath your chest. So like around your solar plexus. But you're lying down and you're in butterfly pose, supine Baddha Konasana. So in this case, sometimes we gotta burn off the edges, and so that we can feel the openness of our center. Not necessarily the persistence to be resilient in our lives, but this space to show up for ourselves, and to appreciate in this understanding, in this adventure of getting to know all parts of ourselves. We seem to have this great opportunity, and at the same time we know that this energy in serving us also serves all the other people around us, or at least those that we will come in contact with and interact with, and from this point going forward. And you may have totally lost track of time and space, and that would be a beautiful thing. Let's go ahead and release your legs long. Let your arms go down by your sides, and palms facing up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in together, and as you exhale, sigh all the air out of your body. Remember, this practice is connected to your last practice. And your next practice will be connected to this practice. And so rather than labeling it as a class, you see this as continued experience, a way at which you can, explore life in parallel. Why not? As far as we know, we know this is processing in the direction of positivity and more calm. Like, you may lose things, but you really, can't lose from the benefits. Spending an hour on your mat. I don't think anybody's ever been angry with themselves for spending an hour on their mat. Once you get to this point. I invite you to continue your meditation in Shavasana for as long as it feels good. And take your time, be gentle with yourself after these detox practices. And continue to unwind with it. And I hope it sends you into a deep sleep.
Looking forward to practicing with you all in the morning. I hope you have a beautiful night. I hope you have a beautiful day, Pamela, in Sydney. And thank you all for sharing the practice. Namaste.